Dayatava Pritapati Advaita Dasna Shri Advaita Acharya Vibhav Mahamahosab ki Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Oh Premanande, all glories to Srimati Gauri, all glories to Srimati Gauri, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Gyan Tibiranasya Gyananjana Sharate Aksharam Vistamina Tasmai Shri Guru Shri Chaitanya Manodishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadami Dami Swaradam Vande Ham Shri Guru Shri Yutam Padagamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Dadanu Tanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Badika Shri Shakanvitamsha Namo Krishna Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Vidamini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashtata Deshatarini Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratshe Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Ramami Haripriye Rachara Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balbhadra Subhadrapyam Jagannathaya Te Namah Panchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubheva cha Palitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila. Text number 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. 39. 40. 41. 42. 43. 44. 45. 46. 47. 48. 49. 50. 51. 52. 53. 54. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 80. 81. 82. 83. 84. 85. 86. 87. 88. 89. 90. 91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. 100. 101. 102. 103. 104. 105. 106. 107. 108. 109. 110. 111. 112. 113. 114. 115. 116. 117. 118. 119. 120. 121. 92. Adilila 6.92. Tahara Prakash Bhed Advait Acharya Vaya Mano Vakya Tara Bhakti Sada Karya Tahara Prakash Bhed Advait Acharya Vaya Mano Vakya Tara Bhakti Sada Karya Advaita Acharya is a separate expansion of him. It means Krishna. He always engages in devotional service with his thoughts, words, and action. वाक्य कहे मुई चैतन्य अनुचर मुई तार भक्त मने भावे निरंतर By his words, he declares, I am a servant of Lord Chaitanya. Thus, with his mind, he always thinks, I am his devotee. जल तुलसी दिया करे कायते सेवन भक्ति प्रचारिया सब तारिल भुवन. With his body, he worshipped Lord by offering Ganges water and tulsi leaves. And by preaching devotional service, he delivered the entire universe. पृथ्वी धरे नये शेष संकर्षण काया करी करे न कृष्ण सेवन. Shesh Sankarshan holds all the planets on his head, expand himself in different bodies to render service to Lord Krishna. यही सब है श्री कृष्णेर अवतार निरंतर देखी सबार भक्तिर आचार. These are all incarnation of Lord Krishna. Yet we always find that they act as devotees. ये सभा के शास्त्र कहे भक्त अवतार भक्त अवतार पद उपरी सबार. Our scriptures call them incarnations as devotees. The position of being such an incarnation is above all others. The Supreme Person Godhead appears in different incarnations, but his appearance in the role of a devotee is more beneficial to the conditioned souls than the other incarnations with all their opulences. Sometimes the conditioned soul is bewildered when he tries to understand the incarnation of Godhead with full opulence. Lord Krishna appeared and performed many uncommon activities, and some materialistic people misunderstood him. But in his appearance as Lord Chaitanya, he did not show much of his opulences, and therefore fewer conditioned souls were bewildered. Misunderstanding Lord, many fools consider themselves incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the result is that after leaving the material body, they enter the species of jackals. Persons who cannot understand the real significance of incarnation must attain such lower species of life as punishment. Conditioned souls who are puffed up by false egoism who try to become one with the Supreme Lord become Mayavadis. एकमात्र अंश कृष्ण अंश अवतार अंश अंश देखी ज्येष्ठ कनिष्ठ आचार. Lord Krishna is source of all incarnation, and all others are his part or partial incarnation. We find that the whole and the part behave as superior and inferior. Just bhave amshite haya prabhu jnana कनिष्ठ भावे अपनाते भक्त अभिमान. The source of all incarnation has the emotion of a superior when he considers himself as the master, and he has the emotion of an inferior when he considers himself as a devotee. The fraction of a particular thing is called a part, and that from which the fraction is distinguished is called the whole. Therefore, the fraction or a part is included within the whole. The Lord is the whole, and the devotee is the part or fractional part. That is the relationship between Lord and the devotee. There are also gradations of devotee who are calculated as greater or lesser. When a devotee is great, he is called Prabhu, and when he is a lesser, he is called Bhakta or a devotee. The supreme whole is Krishna and Baldev, and all Vishnu incarnations are his fractions. Lord Krishna is therefore conscious of his superior position, and all Vishnu incarnations are conscious of their positions as devotees. Krishna samata haite bado bhakta pada Atma haite Krishna bhakta haya premaspada. The position of being a devotee is higher than that of a quality with Lord Krishna. For the devotee are dearer to Lord Krishna than his own self. Atma hai te Krishna bhakte bado kari mane. Yate bhauta shastra vachana pramane. Lord Krishna considers his devotees greater than himself. In this connection, the scriptures provide an abundance of evidence. न तथा मे प्रियतम आत्मयो निर्न संकर न च संकर्षणो न श्री नैवात्म च यथा भवान. O Dava, neither Brahma nor Shankara nor Sankarshan nor Lakshmi nor even my own self is as dear to me as you. Krishna samya nahi tara madhurya swadhana bhave karat tara madhurya charvana. The sweetness of Lord Krishna is not to be tasted by those who consider themselves equal to Krishna. It is to be tasted only through the sentiment of servitude. Chakrera Siddhantaye Vigyara Anubhava Budaloka Nahi Jane Bhavera Vaibhavara. This conclusion of revealed scriptures is also the realization of experienced devotees. Fools and rascals, however, cannot understand the opulence of devotional emotions. When a person is liberated in Sarupya, form of liberation, having a spiritual form exactly like Vishnu, it is not possible for him to relish the relationship of Krishna's personal states in their exchanges of mellow. The devotees of Krishna, however, in their loving relation with Krishna, sometimes forget their own identities. Sometimes they think themselves one with Krishna and yet relish still greater transcendental mellow in that way. People in general, because of their foolishness only, try to become masters of everything, forgetting the transcendental mellow of servitorship to the Lord. When a person is actually advanced in spiritual understanding, however, he can accept the transcendental servitorship of the Lord without hesitations. Bhakta bhava angikare balarama lakshmana advaita nityananda shesha sankarshana Krishnera madhurya rasamrita kare pana sei suke madda kichu nahi jane ana. Baldev, Lakshman, Advaita Acharya, Lord Nityananda, Lord Shesha, and Lord Sankarshan. It's the nectarian mellow, the transcendental bliss of Lord Krishna by recognizing themselves as being his devotees and servants. They're all mad with that happiness and they know nothing else. Anir Achukarya Apane Shri Krishna Apana Madhurya Pane Oila Satrishna. What to speak of others? In Lord Krishna himself become thirsty to taste his own sweetness. So Madhurya asmite karena yatana bhakta bhava vinu nahe taha aswadana. He tries to test his own sweetness, but he cannot do so without accepting the emotions of a devotee. Lord Sri Krishna wanted to really transform the law of a devotee, and therefore he accepted the role of a devotee by appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhakta Bhava Angikarya Haila Avatirna Sri Krishna Chaitanya Rupe Sarva Bhave Purna. Therefore, Lord Krishna accepted the position of a devotee and descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya, who is complete in every respect. So here we see that greatest thing in entire material and spiritual realm is to have this mood of servitude. We see Supreme Lord Krishna is coming as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with that attitude of servitude. He is coming as a devotee to experience greatest sweetness. Similarly, we see Krishna expands in form of Balaram, Balaram expands in form of Sankarshan, Tripurti Vasudeva. Sankarshan further expands in form of Narayana, different forms of Narayans in Vaikuntha. Further expands in form of quadruple form, Sankarshan and Tripurti Vasudeva. Then second Sankarshan expands in form of Karnadaksha Vishnu or Mahavishnu. Then who expands in form of Garbhadaksha Vishnu, who expands in further form as Shivdaksha Vishnu. And we see entire material and spiritual worlds are coming from these all expansions. Advaita Acharya is combined form of Mahavishnu and Sadashiva. So as Mahavishnu, he is actually Supreme Person Godhead himself. All Vishnu Tattvas are Supreme Person Godhead. But we see all Vishnu Tattvas, even Balram, Sankarshan, Bhakti Vasudeva, and then all Mahavishnu, Shiva, everybody, though they are Supreme Person God, Vishnu Tattva, they are complete and perfect. Still, in their heart of heart, in their conscience, they always consider themselves as servant of Krishna. They don't think I am Lord and Master. They always think as I am servant of Krishna. We see Advaita Acharya, because he was elderly and he was the leader of all Vaishnavas. Lord Chaitanya would always respect him, honor him. But Advaita Acharya used to feel very uncomfortable. He used to feel, Array, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. He is the Supreme Lord. He is my worshipable master. I want him to accept me as servant. And we see that how he played a trick. And one time he started preaching Mayavad philosophy. And when Lord Chaitanya heard him speaking Mayavad philosophy, Lord Chaitanya was so angry that he started beating him. And then he started making his Advaita wife Sita and said, Oh, Lord Chaitanya, please save my husband. And then Lord Advaita became so ecstatic. And he started jumping and dancing in ecstasy. Yes. He was so happy that Lord Chaitanya beat him because Lord Chaitanya beating him means Lord Chaitanya accepted him as his servant. Only master can beat his servant, Servant cannot beat master. So when Lord Chaitanya beat Advaita Acharya, he became ecstatic because he saw that Lord Chaitanya is accepting him as his servant. So greater joy, greater happiness comes by being a servant. Jivere Surpoi, Krishna Nityanas. So everybody is servant of Krishna. Ekaleshwara Krishna or Sababrikta. There's only one master in the entire material and spiritual creations. That's Krishna. Or Sababrikta. Everybody's servant. Even Balramji and all incarnation, all the avatars and all so many incarnations of everybody is in mode of servant. Advaitacharya, though he is incarnation Mahavishnu, he is also in mode of servant. And Krishna himself also is in mode of servant. He always thinks of us. And in service, actually everybody experiences the sweetness. Everybody experiences happiness. So this is the secret of happiness. Secret of happiness as revealed by Acharya and all the great acharyas. Acharya is called Advaita. He's Advaita. It is not different from Supreme Body, but he's also Acharya. He's by teaching by his own example how to serve Lord, please Lord, and experience greatest ecstasy in life. So everybody is wanting ecstasy, everybody is wanting happiness. Another is teaching that by becoming a servant of Supreme Lord Krishna, one can actually experience that happiness. Chaitanya Das Mui, Chaitanya Das, Chaitanya Das Mui, Dasaranu Das, Lord Advaitacharya boldly declares, loudly screams, I am servant of Lord Chaitanya. 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 So he feels great joy and happiness. And he's teaching by example how we all also become servant of Lord Chaitanya, servant of Lord Chaitanya. Then actually we feel happily situated. In this world, everybody just by hearing name servant, you have to become servant. People become very afraid. Thinking if I become servant, everybody exploit me. If I become servant, maybe I'll be the most miserable person in the world. And therefore, in this world, nobody wants to become servant. Everybody wants to become. In the beginning, they may, because there is no option, they may accept some service. But they serve so that they can tomorrow become master. Okay, so there is no other alternative. Today I have to become servant. But I'll serve such a way, and then I'll become master one day. So the people's mentality, attitude in this matter is that they don't want to be servant. They want to be master. And if they are serving, their idea in the heart of heart is to become master. And when they become master, they're not satisfied by becoming master. They want to become bigger master. Master of all masters. So that is unconsciously the desire in the hearts of conditioned soul. And that is actually cause of suffering. Because constitutionally, we are not the masters. Constitutionally, we are servants. Constitutionally, we are servants. Constitutionally, we are servants of servants. And when we live against our constitution, it leads to a lot of suffering, anxiety, frustration. So we see in this material world, those who are serving in lower positions, there is some anxiety. But more they get higher and higher positions and higher and higher posts in life, they become more stressed, they become more frustrated, they become more filled with anxiety. Yes or no? Why? Because that is artificial. That is against our constitutional position. To become boss on the boss. That is not our constitutional position. Now, I remember all of you in the first year must have studied, like we see, in this hinges, there's stress created. Anywhere, hinges are there. You can calculate the stress. When you're mechanical engineer or something, basics, fundamental, you study how to calculate stress and all this thing. There is strain and there is stress, So we calculate that. Now, why there is stress there? Because natural constitution portion of that is to be here, and it is artificially lifted up against gravity. can create stress. Yes or no? It's natural position to have, but it's artificially lifted up and therefore stress. So when one tries to artificially try to lord over everybody, whole world, and try to become lord and master, a lot of stress, anxiety is created. And we see all these great incarnations and all these great devotees in scripture, they are ecstatic. Why? Because they don't try to become Lord and Master. They become so secret of happiness is not that we can become bigger and bigger boss, bigger and bigger controller, bigger and bigger master in this world. But secret of happiness is that how we can align ourselves to our constitutional position as servant of Krishna, servant of Krishna, servant of devotees of Krishna. So second question we can learn to ask in every situation of life is, how may I be of service? First question we need to ask to ourselves is, huh? What is my purpose? And second question we need to ask ourselves is, how I may be of service. In any situation, we need to ask this question to us. Okay, in this situation, how I can serve. In any situation, when you think how others can serve me, how others should serve me, that thought can lead to so many expectations and so many frustrations. When we consider ourselves as center of our life, center of our world, center of whatever, no, then there is expectation. Oh, my friend should serve in this way, my spouse should serve in this way, my children should serve in this way, my parents should serve in this way, society should serve in this way, country should serve in this way. And they don't serve as per our expectation. One becomes upset and, hey, what kind of this friend is this? What kind of spouse is this? What kind of parent is this? What kind of children are they? What kind of government is this? What kind of society is this? One becomes frustrated. So when we expect service from others, result of that is frustration, anger, misery. So knowingly, unknowingly, deep in heart, people think that world should go, should revolve around them, and everything should happen as per their will. And things don't happen according to their will. Person becomes angry and frustrated. So people are so one of the biggest causes of suffering is actually this expectations. Sometimes unspoken expectations, sometimes whatever. and when expectations don't get fulfilled, one becomes angry and upset. There was one I was reading from Vaishish Prabhu book. So he was telling that he had once seen a short video, film, short documentary. Very nice documentary in which the depiction of one person. Somehow he got up in the morning and he went to washroom and he wanted to brush his teeth, but then he saw that paste is finished, So no paste. And then he somehow arranged the paste again, went and got. And then he wanted to again take a bath, take a shower. Then he saw there was no water. He, when he woke up, he was already frustrated, and then when he went to washroom, he became more frustrated. When he wanted to take bath, he wanted more. And then somehow then he went, well, what's the problem? Again, finding out where is water, where is not water, and somehow again after great struggle, got water to bath and got ready for the office. Already he had become late, and then he took out his car, and his car he was going out. And as soon as he was coming out of his society apartment, when he was taking out car, immediately saw the small kid was there running here and there, trying to play all around, and it was he was trying to play the horn, but still he was not listening, and he was uh, creating so much of nuisance, and he was not able to get his car out. With great difficulty, somehow, no, he got his car out. Already was late, and he became more late, and he was very frustrated. And somehow he went to office, and later on he was a little hungry, so he went to the cafeteria, and he wanted, because he was hungry, he wanted breakfast. But he saw that in the food court, such a huge line is there. Again, he got frustrated with it. For a little breakfast, I have to stand in such a long queue. And then he was in the queue. And then I saw another lady came. Mm, the cut the queue, went directly in front, took the snacks and went away. And we got so frustrated. What kind of this crazy lady is this? No? That she doesn't have even common manners. No? We are waiting for so long, and he's just cutting the queue and going. And after finally came to the counter, he got that, water coupon. Then he went to the person and to get the water snacks he wanted. But then when he took the snacks and he sat down for eating, he saw that person on the counter gave different kind of snack. He had ordered something, he got something else, and he was totally frustrated. Just thinking, what's happening with me? What's happening in my life? Everything is going topsy-turvy. Mm. And then in that movie, in that film, immediately one stranger comes in that, and he removes his specs. The person who was angry and frustrated, he removes his specs, and he gives him different specs. And on that specs it was written, eyes of service. So, and then when he's wear that spec, his vision completely changed. He was able to see everything in different perspective. So he saw, he like in the morning when he was coming out, and the child was, disturbing him. He realized that in that movie it was shown that every person was shown with something written on the chest. The child, he saw that he is not getting any time from his parents, and he, somehow other has become hyperactive, and somehow he's trying to keep himself busy. So then, instead of becoming upset, angry with him, he felt sympathetic for him because his bechara, his mother, father are busy, and they have no time for him, and he's alone struggling. And then he saw that when he came to that counter, he saw that lady who came. Actually, just heard news that her husband got cancer. She was so much in disturbance and all this thing. The whole night she was busy in the hospital. She didn't get food, something. Somehow he got a little break. She just came to take some things, and without unconsciously, she just came, took and went without, because she was completely absorbed in her own mind and in her own anxieties. And then saw that she's in great anxiety, suffering. Her husband is struggling with life and death. And then you saw that person who gave him that whatever breakfast. I could see. Actually, he was struggling with drug addiction, and somehow he's trying to get rid of that. Trying to somehow again be cheerful and try to serve every customer. But somehow because of his past, this thing is struggling. Immediately became a little sympathetic. So his complete vision turned. Earlier he was very frustrated and angry and upset. But then he saw other people's problems and how they're struggling. Yeah, immediately understood his problems are not very big problem. They are trivial problem. Okay. And then instead of worrying about his problem, he started thinking how I can help them. So in life, when we start thinking that others should serve us, that leads to great expectations and leads to frustrations, leads to very miserable life. But if we can change our spectacles, instead of thinking every one and every situation, how everyone should serve me, in every situation, it be as per my desire, Mm. By default, in conditions set, that is our vision. We use spectacles. Everything we see, how that thing or other person is going to give me happiness, how the other person is going to serve me, how the situation is going to benefit me. So we consider ourselves as center. And we want every one and every situation for our benefit. When we have that consciousness leads to frustration and suffering, misery. And if you want to reverse our suffering, we want to reverse our dissatisfaction, frustrations, then we have to remove the specks of uh, enjoyment, specks of enjoyment, and we should wear the specks of service. So in this situation, we should ask ourselves, hmm, every interaction, when we are interacting anyone, we should think how I can be of service to this person. We don't interact with others thinking how other I can exploit other person, how I can get something out of him. Rather, when you interact with others, you think, oh, how I may be of some service to them. Any situations may change. Understand? So we have to learn to ask the question, how I may be of service in the situation. Situations may change, but if we develop this attitude, hmm, how I may be of service, then we'll be able to contribute something. And when we contribute something in that situation, we contribute something in others' lives, that gives us satisfaction. That gives us happiness. Because that is in line with our constitutional position. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Krishnadas, yes was earlier Dukna. If we can just understand just one thing, we don't have to understand million things. We just understand I am servant of Krishna. And I am servant of because everybody is part and parcel of Krishna, I am servant of everyone. And in every interaction, we just think how I can serve others, how I can benefit others. Then we can reverse all our suffering, we can reverse all our dissatisfaction, we can reverse all our frustrations. And service means which is done without expectation. Sometimes people do service, they think I do service, then immediately next thing is we expect, oh, other person should also serve. And if other person doesn't serve, we become angry, upset, frustrated. But service means serving without any expectation. And especially serving without expectation of getting great recognition, appreciation. Sometimes we may do a lot of service. And after doing a lot of service, one is frustrated. Why? Then nobody appreciated my project. Nobody recognized me. And I did so much service and he got the credit. Or she got the credit. And what do you use those service then? So that means actually we did not do service. Service means that which is done out of gratitude. Service is that which is done without any motivation, material motivation. Service is that which is done without any expectation. Service means that which is done selflessly for others' benefit. And especially without expectation of recognition, without expectation of credit. Sometimes we see many people do some social welfare activities. They may give crores of donation, but they want their name to be put there, donated by so and so or something, And if that is not there, they become very angry and upset. इतना सेवा किया और नाम भी निकाल दिया. So then that is not service. We are just serving our false ego only. But if we serve Krishna, that service should serve Krishna, serve devotees, and serve anyone in relation to Krishna, understanding everyone as part of Krishna. That service should be based on gratitude. Should be done selflessly. Service itself is a reward. What should we do? I visit so much. Krishna so merciful. Let me rest with Krishna. Let me serve Krishna. So one should feel honored that I have got an opportunity to serve. Service, one should consider service itself as a reward. It's not that I'm doing this service so that I will get something else. I'm doing this service because I want to do service. And getting about service, that service is perfection of life. It's not that too, I'm doing service so that I can get recognition. And I want recognition so that I can get posts. I want posts so that I can become bigger boss, a bigger boss so that I can have everybody serving me and I can have all situations under my control and everything goes as per my will. That is not service. That is just trying to lord and master over. And that so-called service will lead just frustration. So we have to work hard, and especially in especially in top consciousness, how I can be genuine servant. Prabhupada started the society. He named the society as International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We have to change our consciousness from consciousness of master consciousness or Lord and Master consciousness, trying to control everyone, everything, trying to lord over everyone, instead of trying to develop that mastership mentality. We have to develop service attitude, servant mentality. So that is the transformation what we are expecting by chanting Hare Krishna. Right? So we hope that we can serve. In the beginning, it may appear troublesome, but later on, we feel very happy. Oh, very nice. Sometimes some situations we are frustrated, angry, upset. In that just situation, we just pause for a moment and just think, what is making me angry? What is making me frustrated? And you just think, how can I serve in this situation? Just one little thought can immediately change the situation. So you can think of one situation where you are frustrated in your life, in recent past. You just think of that situation where you are angry, upset, frustrated, and note it down. I'm not going to ask you to tell the situation, but you just note it down for yourself. Think of one situation in recent past where you are getting angry, upset, and frustrated. How many of you are able to think of some situation like that? Okay. Now you just think how I may be of some service in that situation. Instead of getting angry, upset, frustrated. In that situation, you just ask this question to yourself. How I may be of some service in that situation. Okay. Anybody would like to share the realization of asking this question in that situation? Anybody want to share any thoughts and reflection after just putting this question in our mind and assessing?
When I thought about this episode, like I already why that I did. But I had this question that the frustration comes in service only. Then
Yeah.
how can it be? Like the question was stating was we need to think of that situation and we should think about how can I be.
Yeah.
I should be serving and I got frustrated.
Yeah. So what is causing you frustration?
That situation,
Yeah.
that situation, like the cause of frustration, that I had my plans, and then Krishna had his plan, and then because of the service, I had to do service because, for example, I give the whole detail. One day I was coming morning, so I was struggling to wake up and come in the morning. So 2 3 days, I thought this week has happened, and I will chant morning time. And then only I got to know that I had temple. So
What has happened in your
on that, then only the moment that when I started to it's like I was about to chant, and I thought that I would chant today early. Then I got to know that I had temple for feeling.
Mm.
So like that was different thing that like the OT were allotting me did not got time, so he allotted hurry. So but I had planned, so because of that it was so frustrating. This area I wanted to had to clean most of the part already, but only a little bit part was there, and in that I was so frustrated that I did not know how to.
Yeah. Yes. So we have a plan, but our plan, when we think that everything should work as per our plan, inherently we think I have to control. We think everything has to go my way, but inherently it is against our constitution. Our constitution is that I'm surrounded means what is required for service we do it, and we are sitting down for chanting. mm, we are asking for service. So chanting is also service, this is also service. So when some service comes, we can do okay. Anyway, I have to serve. Let me do it nice. Yeah. I have to do service in such a way that it's pleasing. So if I do grudgingly, then Krishna won't be pleased. That won't become service. That means I'm doing some favor on Krishna, I'm doing some favor on devotees, and then it may not be a good offering. So we have to struggle. Actually, it's not so easy. All of us are struggling to come out of our this thing and develop service attitude and how to see every situation and servant and adjusting according to situation, adjusting. So how I may be of service. So one can do. So when we think peacefully in that situation, okay, instead of getting frustrated, how I may be of some service in this situation. When we ask, there are two ways. One can get angry, he can get frustrated, he can get upset, and then do grudgingly things and and continue with that bad mood. Or one can just reflect. If you just reflect how I may be of some service in this situation, what thoughts come to your mind? Hmm?
In that, in this,
Imagine in that situation, think, oh, I'm a servant, how I may be of service.
service would be devoted to chant.
Yeah, so many devices, great opportunity. I'm chanting on it. So, yes, that is service. But if I clean, it will be service so many ways. I will get so many blessings. So let me try to get some service. And then one can think, okay, that devotee maybe who is making schedule. I think he may be too busy, he is not able to make proper schedule. We can go and ask him, Guruji, maybe you seem to be busy. You have no time to ask devotees. Uh, ask what is their current time to. Maybe I can help you making schedule. So that what I went through, maybe other devotees don't have to go through it. So that everybody else can plan. Okay, maybe that devotee have too much seva, so he's not able to do seva. Maybe I can help him in the seva, making schedule. Huh? Understand? Because sometimes some devotees are too busy, and they may not be able to. So if we help them, we need some help. I can help you to make a better schedule. And if we help without getting credit, without expecting credit, without expecting, then later on what will happen? We feel satisfied. Yes, I did that service, and not only that, I helped that devotee to make a better schedule, so that all other devotees will have good experience of the service. They will not be frustrated like I was frustrated, isn't it? I got frustrated because things went against me. So maybe such first may come to other devotees also. Yes, sir. Maybe I can help by making proper schedule so that other devotees can be saved from that frustration. Mm. So if you do that, how would be your experience? No? But if you if we become angry and upset around the schedule maker, right? What kind of this guy you are then frustrated, then we become more frustrated. But it isn't that maybe he's angry to my service. Maybe let me try to help him. And if we help, what will happen? Things may become better. And when things become better, we'll feel happy, isn't it? So that frustrating situation will be transformed into mm, great satisfaction. Because I asked the question how I can serve in that situation. Not only do that service, but also serve the person who is offering service. Uh, there is, that person may be so happy, isn't it? Oh, Prabhu, thank you very much. You came and helped, Mm, and isn't it? And he feels help, you will feel more happy. And so many devotees will also feel happy, isn't it? So if you just reflect little bit, instead of getting angry, upset, instead of criticizing, blaming everybody, you just ask how maybe of some service. If I being angry, if I become upset, if I blame, that you want to just instead of service, I'll do this service. Isn't it? Let me think how I can serve. Maybe I can assist this devotee who is making schedule, help him to make a better schedule. Maybe and then when there's no one available to fill the schedule, maybe I can volunteer so that everything goes peaceful. What do you think? Hmm? If we think in this way, instead of getting angry, upset, frustrated, blaming, shouting, yelling, screaming, just think how maybe I of some service in this situation. What will result of that question? It happens. Things will improve. Situation will improve. Um, we come up with some creative ideas to serve and improve the situation. Sometimes in a situation when we just ask this question, Krishna may give us so many wonderful ideas how we can improve the situation and do some valuable service. Yes, thank you very much. Anybody else? All right. Yes.
Last week, actually, we had a weekly program. So, subject purchasing has been done on the day one. So, devotee came late. I mean, came on the time only. But previously, I had a evening cooking is finished. So, in the afternoon, we make normal item. So, I thought of making
Afternoon?
we thinking of normal item. Subject just either chole. So, the purchasing devotee purchased saag. So either today we are otherwise if we use it tomorrow and it spoiled. So and another thing is that on that day there was no subsequent devotee. And evening feast cooking I have and day after tomorrow I had exam. So I was telling the devotee who will get now. That recession and that devotee also he had class from morning even for purchasing till 9:30 came. So he can also on week, but that subject getting went only 10 minutes, but later I got to know that the exam also got cancelled.
So, when if you ask the question, how may I be of service? What reflection come to your mind? When you ask the question, when you are angry, why the subject has come at that moment, if you ask this question, how may I serve in this situation? What thoughts, reflection come to your mind?
Two, three options are there. Like I can
Yes.
keep the sag in the fridge.
Yes.
Maybe it will take 10 minutes, or not much time. Then that person it doesn't take 10 minutes. So it's not a big deal. Instead of getting heated up our mind.
Yes, if I think how may I be service? Instead of becoming angry, upset, how may I serve in the situation? One option is okay, let me put all the shack in the refrigerator. That is service I can do. Or maybe I can ask them, find out any devotee is there, asking others some service. That is what I can do. Otherwise, this service is substituted. Whatever. What is the best thing I can do right now? Or maybe best thing is it will extend for 10 minutes and do the job, finish. No? Otherwise, the 10 minutes will go in frustration and anger, all that thing. In that we'll spend maybe more than half an hour. But if I just ask how I may be of some service, okay. At least situation can completely turn around. And Krishna may, when you ask right questions, Krishna is there in our heart as Paramatma. And for devotees, Krishna is very, very reciprocal. We just ask, how can I serve in this situation, my dear Krishna? Krishna immediately give ideas. I think you can do this, you can do that. Don't get frustrated. It's very amazing, wonderful opportunity. Whatever. So we should understand we are not alone. Krishna is there in our heart. If you ask the right question, right answers will come. If you ask, hey, why he has bring some 18 hours, if you ask wrong questions, then you will get frustrated. So we should not ask wrong questions. If you answer wrong questions, we get frustrated. Hey, why did you bring this up? Why did you ask me? We should have the situation going different. Now we already are. How I may be of some service. We have this question. Do you think Krishna in heart will give some ideas? Huh? How many think Krishna will give you some ideas? Yes. And you'll be very happy. Krishna gives such amazing ideas. Wonderful. Yeah. Situation get it on. Yes, thank you. Yes. Anybody else ask one last question? Come to consider. Anybody else? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, yesterday's class I had one question. Can I ask?
I want you would like to share your reflection from this question. If you ask this question in difficult time, if you ask this question when you are angry, upset, frustrated, how I may be of some service in this situation? What realization, what reflection come to you or mind? Okay, anybody wants to share that? Then we'll come to your question. Okay. And we are discussing that any situation when we expect something to, when we expect people to work as per our desires, all these things. Sometimes we have some expectation, they don't get fulfilled, we become angry, upset, frustrated, we become miserable. But in same situation, we ask the question, how I may be of some service. Immediately, the frustrations will get abated. Situation will transform. So I want some of you to share some reflection in this regard. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So I have one question that if suppose I want to serve in a particular situation, like there is a service and it is my service only I have to do, but at that time suppose that I may get hankering for some other services, which are important, but for the time being it is not important. I should continue with my service, but then I keep on thinking on that service, and maybe this service may get affected, and I can't perform to the best what I could have done if I didn't think of the other service.
Yes. So my service is to focus on this service now. How I can serve best now is to not think of other service and focus on this service.
Yes,
When you're chanting, I'm doing one service. How I can, what is the best thing I can do now? How I can serve best? You just focus on chant and forget other service. And when I'm doing other service, I have to forget third service. I just do how I can be of some service at this situation. The best service I can do is focus on the current service. What do you think?
Focus on focus on the current service. That is absolutely correct. But like, what happens that our mind tends to incline more on the service which we do on a daily basis. Like let's say our studies. So studies or something like that only. Studies or work related to studies. So our mind tend to focus on that. So how can we overcome that situation?
You are doing one service and you are thinking of studies.
Studies or like any other service.
You are doing one service and you are thinking of some other service.
Yes.
So you ask ourselves how I can be of some service right there. So right now, the best service I can do is to focus on this service. If I think of other service, that lead to disservice. Current service will get affected. No?
Yes.
So it will become disservice. How I can be of some service right now. So I have to forget other service. Otherwise, if I think of other service, this will lead to disservice. Okay, I want to do service, but let me focus on this. Let me do this nicely. And after this is done, I can think of other service. You're getting the point?
Yes.
So if we listen to the mind, then everything is going to be disturbed. We don't have to listen to our mind. You tell mind, tolerate, and just do the service. Okay. Whole point is that mind being servant of false ego keeps on changing the pattern, completely opposite pattern. He wants everything happen our way, and things go as per our false ego. Mind feels good, it doesn't go. Mind feels bad, and it's very flickering. So therefore, we should not too much listen to our mind. So we have to listen to our intelligence, listen to the Lord in the heart, listen to. And when we ask this question, how maybe I have service, then immediately we see frustrations will appear. Immediately, anger, everything is subsided, and then positivity will come. Immediately, we can enthusiastically do something which can make a difference immediately. Otherwise, we will waste our time in anger and frustration and degrading further. Yes, as you said, mind is thinking, so we have to tell mind, now don't think about it. Focus this mind now here. So what is how I may be of some service? If I focus on this service, that is big service. If I think of another service, I'll end up doing this service. Yes, bro. The last question. You had some question about yesterday. And we'll conclude.
Prabhu, yesterday you were saying.
Yes.
Yesterday you were saying that desire to enjoy lust, and it is.
Yesterday I was saying that
Desire to enjoy.
Desire to enjoy, yeah.
Lust, when it is unsatisfied, it will lead to anger.
Yeah. When lust is unfulfilled, it leads to anger.
You also said that when there is this desire to enjoy, we should not act on it, we should follow
it. Yeah.
But if we follow it, doesn't it lead to unsatisfaction or unsatisfaction?
We tolerate it and engage in some service that will lead to satisfaction and happiness. Now, for example, I'm very hungry. But now there is fasting. If I tolerate it, it will be little bit miserable experience for some moment. Then because I tell no, there's no, and then we'll be busy with different service. Maybe reading, hearing, chanting, or going to college. Then I will forget hunger. And then afterwards, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, when Prasad will come back, take Prasad. Afterwards, we feel very happy. Yeah, I did fasting. So you should a little bit solve it. And then when mind understand he's not going to listen, then he adjusts himself. Hmm? And then later on you'll feel very happy. Oh, very nice. I did fasting. I did not eat prasad. Very nice. No? If you tolerate, later on we'll feel happy. But if you give into it, imagine there's no prasad and I feel hungry, somehow go outside, buy something, offer eat, and then afterwards lunch come back, everybody's taking prasad. Everything everybody fast. I did not fast, I already ate, I broke the fast. Then we'll lament, right? If I had little bit tolerated, it would have been better. You understand? Little tolerance, not it's not that we are doing fasting every day. Once in a while. Thank you very much. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Advaita Acharya Prabhu Appearance Mahamotsav ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Tayo Premanande. So first question is, what is my purpose? Second question is, how I may be of some service.